That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 18 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. Well, I say four friends. In this case, it is two friends and Jason Santiago. Well, Jason is now our friend, so it's three friends. You get the idea. This week, John and I got to sit down with professional MC and ring announcer Jason Santiago, aka the Mullet Man. We talked about how he got into wrestling, his time as ring announcer at Riptide, and all sorts of other good stuff as well. So let's just get straight into it.
Oh, face first into the apron of the ring. There's very little padding there. A dangerous area. It's not wrestler friendly, I can tell you.
Right, here we are with the Mullet Man, Jason Santiago. Hello, Jason.
Hello there, Adam. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm always good, but you guys know that.
Yeah, we do. I should mention that John is here as well.
Hello.
Hello, John. So yeah, Jason. You know, a lot of our listeners will already know of you. We've got a lot of listeners who come down to Riptide shows and who will have seen you working your magic there. But for any of our listeners who maybe are not aware of you, I just wondered if we could start off with you giving a little bit of a introduction to you and who you are and what you do.
Sure. I'm Jason Santiago, aka the Mullet Man. I'm a ring announcer, MC, general entertainer, and I've been in the wrestling business for coming up to 2 years. So I guess I'm a little bit of a greenhorn or a young buck, if you will.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. That was one of the first things I was going to ask you is how long you've been in wrestling and how you got into it. So how did that come about?
Okay, well, it's a bit of a random one, but I think most of the good stories are the most bizarre ones. I was running my own sandwich business up until last year. I was running my own little sandwich business called Awesome Sandwich, and I would make a load of awesome deli-style sandwiches, put them all on like a cool box, and then cycle into the city on a Danish tricycle that had been spray painted to look all dope and awesome. And I would go and hustle the fine people of Norwich. And I came to my best customer, massive shout out for Rich Soddy. He's also my tattooist. And he was tattooing The Bulk, a 38-stone behemoth who's been in the wrestling business for about 20 years. And he said, just bring double. Just bring double of what you bring me. And I gave the Bulk a few sandwiches and a few sausage rolls, and he was like, you got any more? And
Wow.
At the start of a beautiful friendship, and we started talking about wrestling. He's heavily associated with Falling Star Wrestling, based in Kings Lynn. And he said, hey, do you want to come down and train? You got a great look. You look like Magnum TA. I told him, I've been in enough fights. I grew up in the mean streets of Essex, so maybe no more fighting, but if you want a manager or something. And he said, what about announcing? And I went down the next week to a little community centre in a place called Holt, and the rest, as they say, is history.
That is mad. That is almost like a made-up backstory, isn't it?
I often wonder if my life is the Truman Show.
From sandwiches to wrestling.
Sandwiches to wrestling, yeah. A mullet tail.
So, yes. So now we know that so the mullet came first, right? We were going to ask you what came first, the mullet or Mullet Man. So you had the mullet, and then the Mullet Man character.
The mullet came from a marketing scheme that I had this idea because I closed for the winter doing Awesome Sandwich because it wasn't fun cycling around in the wind and the snow and trying to sell people like cold food. People want chips, people want pies, people want hot stuff. So I was finding it very difficult to actually make any money, and I was better off closing than losing money each week. So I closed for about 2 months, and I was very dependent on algorithms on social media to get my menu out to people. So to help the algorithm, I kind of decided to do mullets versus mohawks, and all of my customers could vote on what haircut they wanted me to see come back with in the springtime. So mullets obviously won, and you could say that the haircut found me. Once it was on my head, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is just so meant to be. And yeah, that was it. I kind of took it, and yeah, that's how I became the mullet man.
Yeah, and you stuck with it. I mean, I can confirm it is it's a spectacular mullet.
I don't think I'd have had the success that I've had in the wrestling business if I didn't have this haircut.
It's quite reminiscent of like a young Shawn Michaels.
That's quite flattering. I'd say Magnum TA's my haircut dad. You know who Magnum TA is. All the AWA and WCW fans out there. Yeah, I mean it's my gimmick. It's important. You know, I don't think that I could go and get a haircut now and have the same kind of pull that I do have. You know, people, you know, especially up here, people come to see the mullet. You know, it's not necessarily me. They want to see the haircut because it's so fucking ridiculous. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to stick with that haircut for
I'm lumbered
foreseeable
now.
future now.
I'm lumbered, but I'm happy about it.
Unless you wanted to do a massive heel turn and just shave your head one time.
Do you know what? I'd do something for charity, but it would have to be tied into a storyline. You know, I'd want to get some kind of heat for someone out of it. For me, it's very important that the show's good. It doesn't matter if I get over. It matters if the whole show gets over, and if everyone goes away happy, enjoying it and talking about it to their friends, what they've just seen. Do you know? And some people kind of sometimes think that I'm just trying to get over myself, but it is about trying to get everyone over, get the show over so everyone enjoys it. And it's important for everyone to try and keep focus on it's for the fans, what we're doing out there. It's for them. They're the people paying their money. They're the people paying our wages. And we should give them the best fucking show that we can, you know? And if that means wearing a mullet, then so be it. If that means having my head shaved off for an angle, then so be it. You know, it's always going to be about the fans. And like some people, they look down at marks or whatever, but they're the people that we really should appreciate and, you know, love them. You know, I'm a wrestling fan myself. I'm a massive mark. You know, and it's important to show the fans the respect they deserve, because I think some people in the business forget that.
Amazing. That's a bloody good attitude to have. I think.
Definitely.
And I think that's one thing that it clearly comes across when you are emceeing and the shows that we've been to at Riptide. Your enthusiasm for what you're doing and for the show is really clear. So that's a cool attitude. So that first show, what promotion was it? Sorry.
I work mostly Falling Star Wrestling, FSW.
Yeah.
We're a very grassroots promotion. 50 to 70% of the roster are trainees. They're young girls and guys and gals who are trying to make a name for themselves and trying to get their shit together, if you pardon the expression. But we've got some really great talent, like Ashley Stark. She's coming to Battle Pro with me at the next Battle Pro show in South London. Please come along. It's going to be brilliant. A little plug there. We've also got guys like Jack Hammer, who's only 14 years old. And if he keeps on going the way he's going, I see so much Will Ospreay in this kid. It's untrue. Like, we've got so much exciting talent. But because we're up in Norfolk and kind of tucked away, you know, a lot of people don't realise that we've got some really good things going on up here. You know, there's also WAW, which are based in Norwich. I don't work for them personally, but they've got their own school going on up here. And, you know, there's a lot of fans in Norfolk who want to come to a show, want to be entertained, do you know, and most of our shows that we do with Falling Star, they're under a tenner. Do you know, we're at the
Amazing.
Sports and Social Club on Saturday night, where the locker room space is like a box room in a, you know, like in a 3-bedroom apartment. It's like the tiniest space. And you've got all the guys back there aging from 12 years old up to like 40 years old, you know, some of them trainees, some of them just helping out, some of them like myself, you know, other elements that are important to putting on a show, you know, whether it's the MC or the referee or even the lady who's on the merch table. Massive shout out for Jo. She's an absolute sweetheart. Shout out for you, Jo. And, you know, I really loved being there on Saturday. It reminded me how important the grassroots are and how much fun it is as well. It's a different kind of atmosphere when you've got a room of 70 people, you know, who've paid £6 for a ticket on a Saturday night, and they've braved the rotten cold weather to come and watch us perform. And, you know, fuck, they deserve a good show. Do you know, even if they've only paid £6, they deserve a good show. They've come out tonight and they've endured the cold. So yeah, they're the main promotion I work for is Falling Star.
That's cool to hear of the. You know, I mean, there really is grassroots, isn't it? There's so many little regional promotions now that maybe don't get the publicity.
No,
but are still slogging away every weekend. And to hear that they're giving chances to these wrestlers as young as 12 and 14 is pretty incredible. And of course, they gave you the chance as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to cut your teeth. You have to prove your worth. And, you know, like Ashley Stark didn't get a match for a year. You know, so she did so much work just trying to get her foot in. But once she got her foot in, you know, she's developed a fantastic character, like kind of like a snake princess, kind of snake goddess kind of thing. And she's sorted out that character so much. There's so much to it. You could sit down and talk to her about her character for ages, and she's got an answer for everything, which is what you want to see in wrestling. You want to see characters that are larger than life, that have got some depth, that have got some backstory, that have, you know, you could sit them down and say, what are the 3 most important things to you? And they could spit them off like 1, 2, 3. You know, there needs to be that instantness with a character in wrestling. You know, like Cara Noir, one of my favourite moments of Riptide was seeing Cara Noir come out, because I first met him as Tom Dawkins, the black belt, and to see his character develop so much. And like for me, that's probably the greatest entrance in indie wrestling at the moment, the Cara Noir Black Swan gimmick.
It's really good.
Yeah,
that entrance.
Fucking amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it always goes down well. It's nice to see that the wrestlers are putting sort of equal amounts of importance into the characters nowadays, not just focusing on the technical side, which obviously is so high at the moment, but also the characters. Brilliant. So, I mean, so obviously you were doing shows at Falling Star, building your confidence. Obviously, I expect the crowd were getting into what you were doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit vaudeville, a little bit pantomime at times, I suppose. But the most of the crowds that we work up here are kids. I mean, it's a family show that we do with Falling Star. It's certainly not blood and guts. We've had a few hardcore matches, but when it's turned to blood, it's almost like, oh, this is a family show. So you know, and we had Danny Duggan come in and face Dazzler, old dazzling Daryl Allen, formerly of the Bangor Knights. And Dazzler kind of he was playing heel that night, and after I introduced him and I go to get out the ring, he grabbed the rope, like the second rope, to get me in the plums with the rope, you know, so some real nice heel work. I go down like a sack of shit, and like, oh, ring the bell! He obviously enjoyed that, because he came up to me afterwards and said, do you want to come and call some Battle Pro shows down in South London? I was like, oh, mate, totally up for it. And the fantastic talent at Battle Pro, I mean, we've had a lot of the same guys that have come through Riptide, you know, so we've like Chuck Mambo, your Roy Johnsons, your Moses, you know, all that good stuff. And it's lovely going to Battle Pro as well. I mean, that venue's beautiful. The Liversey Memorial Hall in Lewisham, or just down the road from Lewisham. Massive shout out to Dazzler as well. I wouldn't have got the start with Riptide that I got if it wasn't for the shows with Battle Pro. And the last one that we had, I'll be swinging my arms like this. If you get hurt, it's your fault. Was probably one of the most fun wrestling shows that I've been a part of. The comedy was right. There was lots of laughs and a lot of fun. Some real great little segments with people as well. You know, I felt like I got to flex some comedy muscles at that last Battle Pro show.
Amazing. So that's so cool the way that both Falling Star and Battle Pro, just two sort of jobs that just found you in a way.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, right, I'm gonna be a ring announcer, sending out tapes or whatever to loads of different promotions. You were just offered the work at Falling Star, do a really good job there, get offered some work at Battle Pro.
Yeah, and Spike Trevay, Simon, as he doesn't like to be known as, he'll probably hate me for that. Spike Trevay actually gave Josh at Riptide my contacts and recommended me. So lots of love for Spike Trevay, even though if I see him in front of people, I will definitely pretend to hate the guy. But kayfabe breaking, I love that motherfucker. I think he's wonderful. He's a real
he's a big
guy.
Favourite with us.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. You should get him on the pod. Get him on the pod.
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Leave it with me, boys. I'll have a word.
At the last Riptide show, Sam is a massive fan of Spike's, and he got one of his Strong and Stable, King of Strong and Stable style T-shirts a couple of shows back. And then at the halftime break at the last show, we went up to his merch table, and Sam was interested in buying one of his other T-shirts, which was unfortunately sold out. So I think we got a photo, and he was all very pleasant and lovely. And then, cut to Spike's match. Spike's making his entrance, comes down. Sam's standing right at the front. I'm standing behind him thinking, well, this is a good spot because Sam's got the T-shirt on. We're not going to get sprayed with champagne. And, of course, the first person that Spike goes up to is Sam, spits champagne all over his T-shirt, and then walks away. It was absolutely perfect. It was hilarious.
Such a glorious moment. It was wonderful.
It was brilliant.
We all love a good heel, I'm guessing, then, guys.
Yeah, they're just so much more interesting characters, aren't they, normally?
You can't have a great hero unless you've got a great villain.
Exactly.
And there was a lot of heels going over at the last Riptide show.
Yeah,
we discussed.
I like heel heavy shows, but at the same time there needs to be enough good guys winning that people don't end up kind of going, oh, fuck it then. Because you want to cheer for winners. It's like, that's why there's so many bloody Man United fans when I was a kid growing up. That's why there's so many bloody Chelsea fans or Man City fans these days. It's like you want to cheer for winners. You don't want to cheer for villains. And this is why we end up with villains that are so good that you're secretly cheering for them, but in front of everyone else, you'll still kind of give them a hard time. And I think Spike is a great example of that. I love giving him shit when the show's on, and I love booing him.
Yeah.
But backstage, he's always been so lovely to me. He's always been an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got incredible heat down there at the moment.
Yeah,
so
fantastic. You could cook eggs with that heat.
You could. So it was him that hooked you up with Josh at Riptide.
Yeah, he is. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah, of course. Previously on the podcast, if anybody wants to go back and have a listen to that. So, what happened? Did Josh got in touch? I mean, you were there for their second show, is that right?
I was there from their third show, which I believe was called The Storm, I believe. And then I was there for Point Break. What was the Christmas one? I think I've done 4 shows for Riptide. I think I did 4 shows.
Right, okay.
The intention was to bring me in for 1 and see how it goes.
Okay.
I was nervous as a two-tailed cat in a rocking chair showroom. at that show. I was nervous
Why
as
is
a
that?
motherfucker. Well, you go from doing these smaller shows, and then you get the card that tells you that Pete Dunne and Will Ospreay and all these
Yeah.
incredible talents are gonna be in the ring at the same time as you. And like I said, I'm a mark. I'm a wrestling fan, and there's that wrestling fan in me that goes, oh fucking hell, that's bloody Pete Dunne, isn't it? That's Will Ospreay. Oh bloody hell! Do you know? I defy anyone who doesn't get nervous. Do you know?
Yeah.
When you go from
I'm not surprised.
it felt like a step up when I came to Riptide. It felt like I needed to be really good, and I always try to be excellent. Always try and be excellent. I kind of given up on trying to be a perfectionist because perfection's impossible. But I always try and be excellent. And after that first show, and we had the Swords of Essex, against the South Coast. Is it South Coast Connection with Kelly Six and that. And I went up to Josh afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, that was fantastic. Do you want to do the next one?" And I was like, "Brilliant. Yes. I've got my foot in the door. Great." And I did the next one, and I was like, "You want to see me at the next one?" He's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah. I've got this. My feet are under the table." And maybe I got a little bit too comfortable. Maybe I got a little bit cocky. But Josh said to me that he was always happy with my work. And he just wanted to take the promotion in a slightly different direction. He wanted someone who was a Brighton local, which I dig. I dig it. I mean, I'm from Essex originally, and I live up in Norwich. So, it's a bit of a slap for me to come down. Not that I ever minded. I always wanted to do the trip. And he was like, "What if the car breaks down sometime?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't broken down yet." And he was like, we're just gonna take it in another direction." And at the time when he first told me, I won't lie, there was a solitary tear rolling down my cheek. It felt like I'd been a little bit shot. And it happened on Valentine's Day as well, so that kind of hurt.
gosh.
Yeah, it was a little bit
Heartbreaking.
brutal because I genuinely
Josh,
do.
come on, Josh.
Well, no, it's
Such a
business.
hero.
The day
It's
after.
business. It's the entertainment business, and 1 minute you're hot, and the next minute you're snot. Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool.
The next minute you're on hardest part of the ring.
Well, look,
Oh dear.
the next
Have a mighty
day,
fall.
the next day, Big Joe FX, who is a fantastic wrestler based in Great Yarmouth. He does stuff for Falling Star, but he's heavily associated with Rise in Leeds. And I messaged him once I found out that Josh didn't want to use me anymore. And I was like, "Dude, I'm available if you want me." I did a little bit of a segment at Rise at the beginning of the year, and I announced a women's match for him. And I loved it there. The crowd it's a very different crowd. It's a very different crowd. It's more of a drinking, boisterous lad crowd who maybe a third of the audience aren't even there for wrestling. They're there for a drink and to have a laugh with their mates. And that there's something to be said about that. It was raw. It was very ECW. So I'm super hyped to be going to the Temple of Boom on the 3rd of March with Rise. Radical innovations in sports entertainment, and it's going to be mental. I mean, that crowd it's as close as you're going to get to ECW in this country. It really is. It's very exciting.
Amazing. Okay, that's cool because we had a question from This Is Leggett, one of our followers on Twitter, who's going to ask, as we'll no longer be seeing you in Brighton, where else can we expect to see you? So it's nice to know you've got Rise, and you're going to still be doing.
Yeah, still going to be doing Battle Pro. Still going to be doing Falling Star. I am available for bookings, bar mitzvahs, and children's parties. Maybe not children's parties. But I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. I've been doing a little bit of stand up here and there. to varying results. So don't expect to see me on telly anytime soon. But it's something I want to get better at. It's a discipline that I think is important for an MC to have some banter and some humour, and buy time if you need to buy time. Like one of the ring crew at the last Riptide show said to me, "We need to clean up some gum in the ring. Buy 5 minutes." And I was like, "Okay, right, let's find. I know there's someone's birthday in here tonight. Let's sing them happy birthday." Do you know? And there needs to be more tools like that I can go to if I need to buy time. I need like a hot 5 and a hot 10 minutes of stand up.
Yeah.
You know, like when I did the first Riptide show and we had the fire alarm went off, you know, that totally took me by surprise. That's something that's never happened to me before when I've done a show. And I wish I had a hot 5 minutes in my back pocket then. You know, we didn't have to worry about it because Will Ospreay came out and kind of joked around and carried people out. You know, there's a fire, there's a fire. So, you know, but I just want to keep on getting better. Keep on working for...
Just want to perfect your craft.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I wouldn't mind presenting game shows on TV if so be it. You know, I think that would be real fun. I just want to entertain people. I realise that's my mission in life, is to put bums on seats and smiles on faces. You know, that's kind of what the Mullet Man's all about.
Would you ever consider like a sideways move into like commentary, perhaps?
I'd love to do that. As you can probably guess, I can talk all day if someone asks me. Do you know, I'm a bit of a motor mouth, and I'd like to do colour commentating, I think, rather than the play-by-play. In which case I'd want to turn heel and be a bit, you know, because I can be quite obnoxious and sometimes people don't know how to take me. So it'd be nice to kind of pour some baby bio on that and grow that kind of antagonistic character that I know I've got hiding somewhere inside of me. I think that would be fun.
I think you'd be a natural at that.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
Corey Graves, I'm coming for you.
Reach for the stars.
Hey, you might just hit the moon.
So back to Riptide.
Yeah.
We had Will super kick ask you, what's your favourite moment from working the Riptide shows? Have you got a favourite stand-up moment or a favourite match?
I do have a favourite moment, and this is going to sound really self-indulgent, but I went to this moment when I had some dental surgery a few months ago as my happy place, and it's going to sound super cheesy, but I really genuinely do love that Riptide crowd. I've never had so much love from an audience in one moment than when I came out for it was the show just before Christmas. It was the early December show. I can't remember the name of it now.
Blackwater, was it?
Blackwater, that's the one.
Yeah.
And it was like the first segment, and I came from behind the curtain and just went, yes, with 2 hands raised, and everyone just turned round and did the same, you know, just went, yes! And that was amazing for me. That was amazing to have like 350 people, everyone all together. We're all here for a party. We're all here for a great time. And I'm the Pied Piper for the evening. Do you know, that was my favourite. That was my favourite Riptide moment. Match wise, I think the match with Travis and Speedball Mark Bailey was fucking shit hot. That was great.
Unbelievable, that match.
Absolutely pure fire. Yeah. Lit, mate. Yeah. See, I'm down with the kids.
It really was something special. That was
incredible match.
Obviously, Riptide have just last night they stuck that on their YouTube for free, haven't they? Which
I couldn't bring myself to watch it because I'm still a little bit sore. I'm not gonna lie.
Still a bit raw.
It's I'm kind of even avoiding Twitter a little bit because they're so active on there, and you know.
Yeah. You can see what they're doing.
Yeah,
it must be difficult because
I want the promotion to succeed. I really do. I think they will. I think Josh knows exactly what he wants. He's got a vision for it. I think he's got good people around him. Shout out to Tom West. And he's going the right way about making a promotion that's going to make a difference, that people are going to want to go and work for, that people want to be associated with. And I've never been more looked after in the green room than I have with Riptide. I mean, you know, you go to the show and there's a keg of beer there's a slab of water, there's a fuck ton of fruit, there's a barber there, so a guy like me who's like, oh, I'll get a free spruce up for the mullet, hell yeah. You know, you go and get a haircut, there's a makeup lady there, you know, it makes you feel like you've arrived a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds legit. I didn't realise it was so plush as back room.
Seen now some of the Beyond Gorilla backstage photography. I think it's Beyond Gorilla or one of the other photographers they've had there with some of the wrestlers sort of before their matches getting their hair trimmed or helping themselves to a beer or whatever. It does look like they laid it all on.
It makes you feel so special before you even go out there, you know. I mean, there's nothing quite like having your hair cut. You feel like the Don. I mean, I certainly do, whether it's like going to see my stylist or a barber or whatever, and you walk down the road with a bit more spring in your step, don't you? So if you've got that 20 minutes before you hit the stage, that's a powerful thing. A fresh haircut before you hit the stage. Yeah, man. That's nice. That's the best.
Do you get nervous before you go out?
I think if you don't get nervous, then you should fuck off. You really should. If you don't get nervous, you don't fucking care. I've got my own ways to combat my nerves. I don't drink any energy drinks unless it's a show day, in which case I'll let myself drink as many energy drinks as humanly possible, as it's pure canned anxiety, and I put my nerves down to it's just the Red Bull. It's not me. I'm not nervous. I'm fine. But I'm, you know, it's a psychosomatic one. I mean, maybe it sounds a little bit silly, but it's become ritualistic to have energy drinks before a show and almost feel like I've done a few lines. Not that I advocate taking drugs before performance. In fact, I will not drink any alcohol or consume anything before a show. Afterwards, a different story. But, you know, it can affect the performance, and it shouldn't. It should always be professional. Though I can't lie, I am having a few cans while I'm doing this today because I thought it would help me open up a little bit more.
Oh, no, I'm the same. I usually have a beer or whiskey here.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not drinking alone then. That's all right.
Straight edge when I'm not when I'm not podcasting, but when I'm podcasting, this is incredibly serious and professional.
You are the CM Punk of the podcast.
As soon as I turn off, I'll be mainlining heroin, but that's another story. So, Jason, back to Riptide. Where do you go when you've announced the match? Where do you watch from?
I like to get in there with the crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, you must just be on the other side of the ring.
I normally go to the side where there's, let's say you're facing the stage. You'd normally find me in the right-hand corner towards the fire exit. That's where you'd normally find me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'd be. I mean, hopefully they'll have me back at some point. You know.
I'm sure they will. I mean, one thing that is pretty clear is that you did build up a really strong rapport with the fans, and I saw on Twitter when it sort of came out that you were no longer going to be involved, that quite a few people were like, "What? You know, why?" And were upset to hear the news. So
that was really humbling and heartwarming. Shout outs to Mum Anif. She has been a really lovely fan. One of the Brighton locals. And a lot of people were really surprised. I mean, no one was more surprised than me. I thought that I'd done enough to secure my spot, but that probably means that I was complacent enough to think that I deserved it. Do you know, with whatever you're doing in the wrestling business, you should always be trying to be better. I was trying to always trying to get better, but maybe I got a little bit complacent here or there.
Well, from an outsider's perspective, I don't think that was the case. You were noticeably getting more comfortable, I'd say. But But obviously respect to Josh and to
Yeah,
Riptide.
absolutely.
Made their decision.
The people that he's going to bring in, I'm sure, are top notch, and I've got nothing but goodwill to anyone who's got the privilege to take that microphone for Riptide and go and kick some ass. Go and give the beautiful people of Brighton another great show, because I'd like to think that's what Riptide have been all about so far. It's been about giving the best possible show. And you can look at the cards that Josh and Tom have put together, and you can see the attention to detail and the care of the booking. And yeah, nothing but massive shout outs. And if they think that they can get a better show without me, then they should do it. They should do it, and hopefully in the future, maybe that I'll be considered like a Riptide original, and maybe they'll bring me in for like a Christmas show or something. That would be really special. That would be really nice.
Maybe you'll get inducted into the
Riptide Hall of Fame.
I mean, if Jeff Jarrett can get into the WWE World of Fame,
wasn't that shocking? Wasn't that shocking? Double J.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like
I
no one
can't
likes him
stand
ever.
Jeff Jarrett.
Crazy. Yeah, well, I agree. Whatever happens, you're part of the history there, and it's definitely a promotion that, I mean, we like to think is going to go far, and so you're a part of that, and you can't change that. So and you brought a lot of people happiness. So
Then my mission was accomplished.
It was indeed. So before we start to wrap things up, I thought it'd be quite cool to ask you a couple of questions, things that we asked Josh, things that we'll ask people we interview in the future. Just general wrestling questions, really. I just wondered, first of all, it's a question that we asked ourselves in our first ever episode. What's your first or your earliest wrestling memory? Can you remember?
Okay, yeah, I can remember it. I thought about it today because I thought that might come up. And my dad had a VHS tape. I guess it was about 92, 93, that kind of time. Yeah. And my grandmother lived in Holland. She lived in Eindhoven for all the time that I was alive, when she was alive. And she'd come over with a big box of VHS tapes of stuff she'd recorded off a cable in the Netherlands for us kids. And one of the videos was, I think it was WrestleMania 5 or WrestleMania 6, and it was Macho versus Hogan for the championship. It was only the main event that was on the tape. There was something else as well. I can't remember what else it was, but it was the main event that I saw, and I watched it with my dad. And Macho kept on powdering out the ring, and like he had the belt, like Hogan was chasing him, and effective heel work, because I remember saying to my dad, "Why won't he just fight him, Dad? Why does Macho Man just keep on getting out the ring? He's such a chicken." So I guess Macho did his job that night, because 5-year-old me or 6-year-old me, or however old I was certainly taken by his heel antics.
You can't really get better than those two in terms of characters.
They're certainly two of my Mount Rushmore. Certainly two.
Yeah.
The other two probably being Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who, if you like wrestling, you like Stone Cold. That's how it should be. So yeah, that's my earliest memory is Macho Hogan for the belt. I think it was WrestleMania 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5. It was break over the superpowers, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And Miss Elizabeth was there, looking beautiful as always. And
Miss Elizabeth, yeah, she got better with age as well. Miss Elizabeth, God bless her.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
oh, that was a little bit. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Any other favourites? Perhaps sort of any sort of cult figures that you've come to realise are actually terrible wrestlers?
I'm a massive Vader mark. I'm a big fan of Vader. I've always enjoyed super heavyweights. I like massive blokes who look like they would fuck you up, like heels. Big fan of Vader. Just heels in general. There's loads of heels that I could happily sit and talk to people about my favourite heels all day. Like Ravishing Rick Rude, like so obnoxious, excellent moustache and mullet combo, I might add. And
early inspiration.
like wearing your opponent's girlfriend's face on your jocks. That's so insulting, isn't it? That's so insulting. You know, it's, yeah, I love Rick Rude. I love Gold Dust as well. My namesake, 'cause my surname's actually Rhodes. Not a lot of people know that. And when I got into wrestling, I thought I can't use Rhodes because it's a dynasty, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that'd be risky.
Unless you tried to claim that you were part of the family.
I'm a son of a plumber, baby.
That was an excellent Dusty.
It's in my genetics.
Jason,
Sorry?
Who are your favourite wrestlers now at the moment?
At the moment, I really like the Velveteen Dream.
Yes,
I think he's fantastic. Also a big fan of one of his recent opponents, Aleister Black. I've been told stories about Aleister Black that if you catch me and we're not online, then I'll share those stories with you. But Bulk was wrestling. My mentor, I guess he's my mentor. I kind of see him as my Yoda. But he was in Amsterdam wrestling, and Aleister Black was essentially their gopher. So I could tell you some stories about Aleister Black.
Interesting.
But,
okay,
yeah, I think he's great. I think he's the full package. I think he's everything Baron Corbin wishes he was.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like, I reckon
this
you
is
could.
Weird, Jason, because I know you're not even doing this on purpose, but I mean, the fact that you just said that you love Gold Dust, Sam is going to absolutely love that. The fact that you're bashing
Baron
Corbin now.
Oh,
yeah,
he's terrible.
Brett's going to absolutely love that. You're basically going through all the tropes of the podcast, all the favourites. We're all big fans of Dream and Black as well.
I am a listener, but I'm not blowing smoke. They are my favourites. So I'm trying to think who else I really like. I was a big Punk fan. That I think CM Punk got me back into wrestling when I was a bit stale with it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, a lot of people like Punk kind of turned the tide. I'm interested to see if he ever comes back, because if Jeff Jarrett can get in the fucking Hall of Fame, then there is hope. There is hope, boys.
That's a big call.
Yeah, well, if I said to you this time last year that your pyramid scheme, gold punting Jeff Jarrett, hillbilly son of a bloody wrestling promoter, is going to get into the Hall of Fame after all the shit that he's done with WWF back in the day, then yeah, I'd have had the same reaction to what you just had to me. So yeah,
they must be so desperate to have Jarrett in there. It must be like, no, everyone else has turned them down or busy. Jarrett's the only one who's got a free schedule and can make it.
Like Hogan or Jarrett. Yeah, well, it'll
Hogan.
happen, I reckon.
I mean, what's going to happen with Hogan in the end, really, isn't it? I mean, it's an awkward one. He's got to come back. I mean, he's so important to the business, and I mean, he was the first match I ever saw was him and Macho, and I think that's the same for a lot of people. And I'll pose the question to all the fantastic listeners out there: is it time to forgive Hulk Hogan? Is it time?
And with that, we should probably think about drawing things to a close.
Hang on, what's that smell? Hang on, boys. Hang on. I can smell a can of worms being opened, and I don't think I've got the stomach
Let's save that
for
the
next
evening.
evening.
Let's save that for when we bring Jason back on again next time.
You'll have me back. That's very nice.
Oh, I think we definitely should. I think it's pretty clear that you've got a lot of passion for the industry and you've got a lot to talk about. So it'll be definitely interesting for us to follow you now. We're not going to be seeing you down at Riptide, but we might see you there as a fan in the future, and we'll definitely keep an eye on what you get up to. How can people keep in touch with you? And
well, you can follow me on Twitter at Jason Santiago, at MulletManMC 1982, on Facebook as Mulletman Professional MC. Jason Santiago, just search a load of stuff like that. You'll eventually find me.
Yeah. And have you still got your t-shirts on sale?
We've got a few left. We've got a big show at the weekend with Falling Star. It's our WrestleMania for the year, if you will. It's Retribution, and that's the name of the show. I'm probably going to try and get rid of the t-shirts that I've got left, because I've got ideas for a new one. Kind of want to do like a Macho Man parody shirt that's nice, Mullet Man with. I'm actually going to use one of the photographs from Riptide, kind of inlaid into where the letters are, in like a nice black and white on a lilac purple t-shirt. I think that'll look dope. So
Ooh,
yeah, yeah. But you'll also be able to catch me at Battle Pro. Our next show's on the 9th of March, called I've Got You, Bro. And we certainly do. We've got some fantastic talent for that show. And we've got Rise at the Temple of Boom on the 3rd of March. That's going to be fucking nuts. And you really should, if you're a Northern listener to the podcast, you should certainly try and come and see it, because it's like nothing else you've ever really seen.
Fantastic. Okay, great. It sounds like you've got loads going on, which is good. Onwards and upwards for
Absolutely.
the Mullet Man.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for being available to come and chat to us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And we look forward to following you as your career progresses.
Well, we'll see what happens, eh?
Yeah. And we'll definitely have you back on again. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Wonderful.
Ribcage first across the apron.
So there we go. How good was that? Thank you so much again to Jason for coming on the podcast. And we'll definitely have you back on again at a later date. That is it for this week. Thank you very much to everybody for downloading the podcast. Next week we'll be doing our Elimination Chamber review. All 4 of us will be back, and we will be discussing that pay-per-view. And I think we're also going to name our new Hardest Part of the Ring champion now that Jason Jordan has officially vacated the belt. So we've got that to look forward to. That'll be out next Wednesday. If you want to get in touch, you can email us on hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. And we are on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at hardestpartpod. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you soon. That was the Hardest Part of the Ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.